With movies, even if they use practical effects, there's always like that question, oh, is that CGI? Did they just do computers with it? So to be able to do something impossible like that on stage, that's sort of like one of my goals, is to create that type of magic that you can't do with a computer because it's right in front of you. So that's what I'm trying to do with Dredgie McGee.
So, Matt McGee, who is this weird, mad scientist of puppetry, called me up in the early days of the pandemic. And he said, I've got this show that's this big idea and this spectacle, and it's going to be fun and exciting and music and visual and puppetry. It's going to be intergenerational. It's for adults and for their kids. And it's going to really be about healing and coming together and finding community.
It's kooky. The story is about a legless pirate who is at the bottom of the ocean, being carried around by a deep sea diver, and he's kept alive because of a magic amulet. His legs are somewhere in the ocean because they got blown off by a cannonball. He has sort of set up shop and has hosted a variety show with all the underwater creatures and characters of the deep. It's this crazy, Pirates of the Caribbean meets Muppet Show meets Haunted Mansion meets Tonight Show and Pee-wee's Playhouse. But the through line, kind of a little about depression, about what it means to be whole, about moving on and accepting what's to come. I mean, that became sort of the driving force behind it, where there's the visual spectacle that gives you the magic, but then the heart of this character's journey.
It's all those things that I hope for. It's the kind of thing that is exciting and fun and hilarious and whimsical, but also deeply moving about finding oneself again and repairing oneself after trauma and tragedy. That's all buried underneath this sort of whimsical, fun, sort of Muppet-style show. But at its heart is really about us coming together again. And so it was exactly that sort of post-pandemic show that we wanted to provide.
Some of the stuff that Matt has created is just stuff that you would never expect to see live, and the things that we're doing with it, I think, are amazing. And it should blow your mind. And that's not an exaggeration, I think.
We talk about what's the point of theater, and I think this story does have a moving storyline, but it's also just pure distraction and escape, and injects a lot of levity into the world. And I think that has such weight and value right now, especially.
It's like Santa Claus, bringing joy or bringing that sense of wonder, and how as we get older, we kind of lose sense of that, and we lose touch with that. We think, oh, that's for little kids. Trying to create something magical on stage that could make a grown adult feel like a kid again. It can change your perspective. You get so entrapped in your busy schedule and your life and all the mundane things and the stress of everything, that if you can see something that makes you go, wow, you walk out of that room as a different person.